All right, guys, happy Monday and happy week 2 of December. Holy crap, we're flying through. I am super pumped about tonight's call. It's actually a really exciting topic for me. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I think it's really, it might seem too early, but I think it's the perfect time to start talking about goals for 2019 before we get to the end of this month, because if there's something that's really kind of been clicking with me lately, it's the fact that everything you're doing now is creating momentum for you later. And I think December, especially, like I've felt this pull, I felt this, I've felt this want and desire to sort of pull back and sort of, go into hermit mode. Because it's that time of year, you might have things going on. All the things are going on. You've got events, you've got family things, and it's just sort of that time of year that a lot of coaches and a lot of people tend to withdraw. And they tend to be like, oh, I'll get back to this in January. And the thing is, though, you guys, is that's like the worst thing that you can do. And if I think back on my year, there are some lessons that I've learned of things that I wish I did differently. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that I wish that I had been more intentional. And I wish I had been more clear on my vision and what I wanted and went for it unapologetically, and I didn't let off the gas. So that's where a lot of this call is coming from tonight, is the fact that I want us to go into the second half of the month with clear intention. And I want us to go into 2019 with clear intentions of what is our vision? What do we want for ourselves? And how is it that we can actually get there? Because the thing about big goals and big visions that tends to scare a lot of people away, why people tend to back off, why people tend to take their foot off the gas pedal and quit, is because of the fact that it seems too overwhelming, that you can't attack a huge goal all at once. It comes down to consistency and daily actionable things that you are doing towards working towards that goal. So, Haley jumped on. Okay, sorry, scroll brain. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to get right into it if I can figure out how. I'm always bad at this. My God. Here we go. Okay. You guys. Okay. All right. So, goal setting for 2019. It's crazy to even be talking about this. All right. So, I can go next one. There. All right. So basically my theme for going into 2019 as a team is I want us to find our sparkle. And what I mean by sparkle is I want us to find our joy. Something that I think has been really like hitting home with me as I've been pushing towards these huge goals these last couple months is the fact that remembering why I got into this. Why did you join? Like, we all joined this for a change. We joined this for a reason, because we wanted something more, whether it started out with just your fitness and your health, or whether you came into this really wanting that, business side right out the gate. And then you want, knowing and wanting that health and fitness transformation as well, like that inside out transformation. Like there was something pulling you to say yes to this. And it's so important to come back to that. It's so important to hold on to that fire that you have, that pull why you joined. And when it comes to coaching, when it comes to this business, when it comes to reaching towards that vision, what's going to keep you going is holding on to that joy. Always focusing on you and letting everything else sort of flow behind that. So I want you to ask yourself and start thinking, like, when is it that you feel the most joy? And when I started really thinking about this, the times that I have felt the most joy in the last month are the times that I am, taking positive action for myself, for, when I'm pouring into our challenge group and I am really feeling like I'm being there and I'm helping people. That is when the joy is just constantly flowing because, I'm focusing on just feeling good and then pouring that into others. And what's been coming with that, along with that, is that attraction that I've been getting in my social media and with my inviting. Inviting doesn't feel so hard. It doesn't feel so, it just feels like engagement and conversation and getting to know people. And with that, when you're being genuine, when you're leading with your positive intention, because I know you all have positive intention. I know you all are pure of heart with why you want to do this, why you're here. So the thing that people always say is they don't want to be salesy. They don't want to, be that icky multi-level marketer. Well, you're not if you aren't, okay? You aren't. The only way that you can prevent that is to literally lead with your heart, okay? So my goal for the year for all of us is to do everything with intention. Do everything, go into your conversations, go into your whatever your routine is. I know I'm an early riser and I get up and I immediately start with myself. That's how I start my day every day, is with my personal development. Go into that with literally just with the goal of finding that joy and pouring from the overflow, okay? Holding on and remembering every single day, your why and why you're here and what is it that makes you feel good. And if you show up every day and you lead with your heart and your passion, that is going to make everything flow so much better and easier and, faster for you, okay? There's no way you won't be successful if you lead with your intention. So positivity and happiness draws more positivity and happiness. I am a huge believer in this. I think it's a belief that's grown over this last year, but I believe that positive energy attracts positive energy. And every time I've felt resistance in my business, every time I've felt struggle is when I am in a negative mindset. When I get so caught up with the numbers, or I'm comparing myself, or, I'm just considering myself a failure because I'm not where I want to be, when I want to be there, that is when I find it to be a struggle. And so when I force myself to really clear out, that negativity and get back to myself and really focus back in on that joy, things always come back to a more happier, positive, momentum pace. Okay. Sorry, I can't talk. I cannot talk. All right. So first things first, I hope you brought your notepads or you have a piece of paper lying around, or maybe you're doing this on your computer. I don't know, but you need to be taking notes. And I wish I could get rid of this thing. Maybe I'll put it down here. All right. So I want you to think about, in the last 12 months, what are you most thankful for? Think about it. What are you really thankful for this year? And really, for me, I think what I'm most thankful for this year, honestly, just has to be the people that have come into my life, this past year. Specifically, I'd say Leah was a huge turning point for me. I think her coming into my life and to this team was a huge catalyst for all these good things and this sort of belief in myself that I was actually, creating and building something with other people that believed in what I believed. Like I wasn't the only one. Okay. Cause I think in the beginning of when you're starting something, it can feel just like it is when you're starting out your journey. It can feel a little scary, a little isolating, because you wonder if when you're gonna find those people that your tribe. Okay, I know we talk about tribe all the time, but it's real. Okay. And because in the beginning, I think as a coach, you're just trying to help everybody. But what you learn, the best lesson that I can teach you now is to stop trying to help everybody and just start trying to speak and connect with those that that connect with you and are in align with you, because you can't help everybody, you guys. And to think that everyone's going to like you and everyone's going to, vibe with you is not a reality, and it's not something that's real. So the sooner that you can stop caring so much about that and just understand and go into it knowing that you're not going to connect with everybody, it's going to serve you best. But so, sorry, tangent, but I think about that. I think about the community that I've created, and I think about how that has helped me through these very hard personal things that I've gone through this year. It's true that every time that I've gotten to a very dark place, this community always picks me up, and it's my center. It's what keeps me driving forward, is that consistency of this community. So write down all the big and small wins you saw over the last 12 months. It's so easy for us to focus on the negatives. Focus on the wins, focus on the little ones, focus on the big ones. It could be fitness, it can be financial, it can be relational, it can be anything and everything. Write it all down, because that is what's important, okay? And that is what we get so caught up in the doing sometimes that we don't stop and reflect, and we don't remember all the good and all the big and small wins. So read them back to yourself, and like I said, you're going to be amazed, okay? So that's the first thing that I want you to do. And I'm going to keep going. So if you guys just want to write down this point and do it later, then you can do that too. So what held me back from reaching my goals? What are you really honestly afraid of, and why is that holding you back? This is a big one, okay? Something that is very real is imposter syndrome. And I didn't realize that I actually was experiencing this until I finally, heard someone talk about it, and I realized that that was exactly what I was feeling. I think this is very common, especially for us, those on this team, because I think why so many of us connect with each other is because we tend to be on the more introverted side. We're more sensitive. We're more, I consider myself a homebody. I come from a past of being insecure. Of being a follower. So when it comes to finding myself in this role of being a leader, I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I feel like, oh my God, how can I really be like her when I'm me, and I'll never be that, So it's honestly recognizing that fear. It's recognizing that as being a false, okay? It's recognizing that that is your mean girl telling you that you aren't capable of being a leader, that you aren't capable of being the CEO of your own company, of your own business, that you aren't capable of leading a team, when that's completely false, okay? The only thing holding you back is your mind, is that mean girl. So if you can acknowledge the fear, it's going to take the power away. So write it down. What are you afraid of, and how is that? And get, gut check yourself. Recognize how it's held you back, and choose right now that by acknowledging it, that you're going to let it go. Okay. So in the next 12 months, what does your ultimate happiness look like? This is where I want you to really just give yourself permission to put the boldest, biggest freaking dreams out on paper. We are going to be doing vision boards in the next couple weeks. I don't know when exactly, but I know it's going to happen, because me doing a vision board last January, honestly, I have to, because that's the number one biggest, newest thing I've ever done, in the past year. I started coaching last June, not this past June, the June before. Game changer. When you get your visions and your big scary ass dreams out in physical form that you have to look at it all the time, it's your subconscious is going to manifest it. So Be unapologetic, okay? Put it out, okay? I don't care. Like, I think so often, I know for myself, that is the number one thing that held me back this year is I didn't truly believe, I think, that I could go per diem this fall. I didn't truly believe that I was going to pay off my debt by the fall. I, kind of like, I went and I applied for some other jobs, after my wedding, because I think deep down I was afraid that I wasn't going to hit that goal. So I wanted a safety net. And what I learned and realized throughout that process of interviewing and applying and literally getting job offers and turning those jobs down was because I realized, no, my big scary ass goal and dream is that I'm going to be a full-time coach. I'm going to be full-time by the end of this year, and I'm going to have the freedom, to be able to proceed forward with whatever the frick me and Nate want to do with our family, to have that weight off my shoulders, to not have to worry about any of the stress of my job, okay, or a job. And as soon as that's when everything shifted. When I realized that and I understood that, like, I was planning for plan B because I didn't fully believe in myself, it was like I finally went all in. Like, I literally went all in, okay? So I want you to really put it down. I don't care how big and, it might seem absurd right now, but if that's really what your heart is pulling, is tugging on you, I want you to write it down. If you think about it at all, put it down, okay? So if you can get clear on everything that you want, you guys, I promise you, you're gonna move towards it. All right. So the top 5 things that are important to me in the next 12 months. So I want you to write down all of the things, okay? But now I want you to write down the top 5. Or from that list, I want you to really categorize or number or star or whatever the top 5 things that are the most important. What top 5 things would make the most positive, drastic impact in your life in the next year? Like, think about your life right now. And in a year from now, where do you want to be? In a year from now, sitting here on December 10th, what do you want and need to be different? What do you want and need to be changed? Okay, so for me, in a year from now, I want to be earning, all right, I'm going to just tell you guys my goals. All right, in a year from now, I want to be earning at least 10 grand a week. Okay, I want to have at least, I want to be an elite team. So that means I have to be 5-star or above. So I actually I want to be a 15-star diamond team because I'm just going for it. All right. I put down that I want to be a mom, or at least be pregnant. I want to be starting our family, essentially. I want to be, obviously full-time doing this. And I want to be in our dream house. I want to be in our home. I don't think I really figured out my 5th one, but those are my goals. I don't want to be working per diem anymore as a nurse. I want to be full-time doing this, and I want to be, I want to be joyful and happy, and I want to, that's what I want. Okay. So I thought about this on the plane this weekend. So those are my hairy, scary goals. Those are the top 5 things that would drastically impact my life, because that would mean my husband could come home. He wouldn't have to work the consistent jobs that he's working right now, and he would be able to be at home and relieve that financial stress from his shoulders. That would mean that we would have a lot of the stress in our life right now would be alleviated. So I want you to be really clear on what it is that would really impact you, on what would change your family and your life and your personal and everyday happiness. What are you going to lean into? Okay. Why is it important to you? We all talk about our why, and the importance of figuring out your why is so that you can be really concrete and clear about what it is and why this is so important to you. Why would this make such a difference in your life? You know? So if you can do that, then that will help you with our next step. So it comes down to starting with one thing. So you have to dream big, and you can't put any restrictions on these visions, you guys. You know, don't overthink it. The biggest change in me since I started coaching was that I have never been such a dreamer in my entire life. I don't believe truly anymore that things are impossible. Before, I never really gave myself the permission to dream. I never really went outside of my present reality. You know, that was my reality. I never thought outside the box. I never dared to even step a toe outside the box. And if I did, it still was like, okay, I stepped out, but, you know, I'm more comfortable over here. Okay. Now it's like, nope, I am just crossing that line, and this is my new norm. Okay. Things are possible. If I can think it, it's possible. Okay. So but the thing about that, like I said in the very beginning, is the fact that when you have these really big, audacious dreams, when you have this really big vision, I want to be a 15-star diamond team. I can't just be like, I want to be a 15-star diamond team. I want to be a 15. No, it starts with going to be a 3-star diamond team, and then a 5-star diamond team, and then, you know, a 6-star diamond team, and so on and so forth. And how does that begin? How do I do that? Well, I do it the same way that I became a diamond coach, and I do it the same way that I became a 2-star, with momentum, with consistency, with doing the daily things. So it all comes down to going all in on one thing at a time. It's the same way that I, you know, paid off my credit card debt this last year. Was I couldn't, you know, all right, I have over 10 grand of credit card debt. Well, how am I going to pay off 10 grand of credit card debt? I'm going to pay it off by paying a little extra every paycheck towards that credit card debt, or paying as much as I possibly can from my paycheck every 2 weeks towards my credit card. And I'm going to start with the lowest one all the way up to the highest one. And that's how it happened. It was chunk after chunk after week of constantly putting in, you know, pouring the money into one thing at a time. Okay. So that's how you have to approach this vision. That's how you have to approach these dreams. So you create your vision board, and you start working towards the one that is going to basically give you the most joy, or bring you the most happiness and peace first and foremost. Okay, so for me, it was getting rid of my credit card debt. Next, it was going per diem. Now it's student loans. Okay, these other things of like my team retreat, going to summit, traveling, you know, helping somebody lose 50 pounds, success, you know, 10,000 in savings, things like that. It's like those things are like things that would really bring me joy, but they aren't things that are my top 5. Okay, so that's why it's so important to write out all the things, but get clear on the top 5, because those top 5 things are what's going to be in a year from now, where you're going to be like, holy crap, my whole life is completely different. Okay. All right. Because we all know, like, you know, splitting yourself, because I think that's, you know, what, again, like, I know I'm a bit type A, and I'm a little OCD, and what I find myself, and I have to stop myself a lot, is the fact that I feel like I'm trying to do too many things at once. And I have to stop and pause, and I have to focus. All right. Because and also it doesn't feel good when you're doing that. That's when you're going to lose your joy. That's when you're going to feel, you know, like a failure. That's when you're going to start being susceptible, when your armor is going to be down a little bit because you are too stretched out. Okay. So you need to really, I want you to write it all out, and I want you to get clear going into this next week, into these next 2 weeks. What is it that you want to get done by January? What is it that you want, you know, what we'll probably be doing when we do our vision board, but you can start doing this now, is start planning out your first quarter of the year. start planning out where you want to be come March. All right. So what do you want to achieve, by the end of December? What do you want to achieve by January? What do you want to achieve by February? What do you want to achieve by March? All right. And start getting clear on what it is that you need to do to get there. All right. So I know that if I want to, reach my goal of being a 15-star diamond team by next December, then I need to hit 3-star by the end of December. Okay. I need to build my husband up to a diamond, or I need to, at least, I need to start thinking like that. I need to start thinking, piece by piece, how am I going to achieve this goal? All right. And in the midst of that too, it's like, by doing that, I'm going to increase my income. I'm going to be growing my team. I'm going to be bringing in more of the good things that make me feel the most joy, the community, the finding the people that, love this as much as I do, that believe in the vision, that believe in what we're doing, and find and see all the amazingness that is, within this community. That stuff lights my fire. Okay. So the more I invite, the more I engage with other people, and I'm constantly like just reaching out and engaging, the more likelihood I'm going to find those people, and the more momentum I'm going to create for myself. So I think that's all for that. So this is honestly, I wanted this to be short and sweet, but I wanted to quote Shaun T, because I think we're all very excited, because with Transform 20 coming out, I think it's the perfect thing for us to start the new year out, because Shaun, I think maybe why I don't know, maybe if this is why I love him so much, but I love that he's always been focused on the mindset more than the fitness, or at least I can't find my words. He's always been so about, if you better your mind, you're going to better your body, you're going to better your life. It all starts in the mind. And that has been the biggest lesson that I have learned, in my own journey, was that, even though when I was doing Insanity back before I knew Beachbody really was a thing or existed, Beachbody on Me and all that, I was doing Insanity, and I was doing the fitness, I was doing all those things, but I wasn't changing anything in here. Nothing. And it wasn't until I surrounded myself with women that were doing that, when I surrounded myself with women that were focused on growing from the inside out, that I realized that was exactly what I was missing, that was exactly what I wasn't doing, and that was why I was holding myself back. And I think the best thing the best thing I can do as a coach is to honestly help every person that joins this team as a challenger, as a coach or a discount coach, whatever. My biggest drive and goal is to help people realize that if you fail or quit, then that must have not gotten clear to you. That must have not clicked, because if you do that work while you're working on your fitness journey, your health journey, there's no way you're not going to change your life. There's just no way. And if you can start to break down and work through those self-limiting beliefs, write out those fears, write out what's been holding you back, and take away that power, there's no way you're not going to be in a completely different place a year from now. So that is honestly all I had. I don't know if anybody has any comments, but I don't want to hold you guys too long. But I hope that I'm trying to read the chat. Oh my God, I can't. I hope this helped a little bit. I hope that, this kind of got the ball rolling, got your mind working. I really hope that you truly took notes, or at least jotted down the points of this and go back and reflect on it. Don't let this go. Don't let this go, because no matter what, if you can at least just start thinking and getting clear on what it is that you want out of your life, I know it's going to bring amazing things for you in every way. So, all right, guys, that's all I got. But so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.